Welcome back to Bites MD. Today I'm going to show you how to make Claypot rice. This is one of my dad's favorite dishes, so we're going to be using ingredients and toppings that he likes to use. I ate this as a child, so there's a lot of memories behind this dish, but a lot of times he would burn it, so we would always make fun of him and we would call this dish as a burnt rice pot. The Claypot rice is kind of divided into 4 sections. The first top is the toppings. You can use whatever toppings you want. More traditionally, it's usually chicken or pork ribs. And then the second portion is the top layer of the rice that's covered in all the juices and the sauces from the toppings. And then in the middle of the rice is the white and fluffy plain rice. And then at the bottom of the pot is a crispy, golden, crunchy rice. So we're just going to take a cleaver and we'll cut it in half. When you're chopping chicken with bones, you want to be decisive. One big chop, or else you're going to make shards. Pro tip is always to wash these chickens afterwards to prevent any shards in your dish. I have here some jasmine rice that I washed, and now I'm just going to let it soak in water for a couple hours, and then I'm going to show you how to cook this rice without having to measure anything. Pro tip, use a spoon to peel the skin of the garlic. It's a lot easier to get the crevices when you're using that way. Traditionally, I think most of the time the ginger is sliced into like thin pieces when we're using it to cook, but I think today I'm going to mince it just because it's easier to eat when it's minced. And these shavings, feel free to keep it as a stock. And we'll take some of our ginger. I'm saving a bit of our ginger so we can use it for our sauce in the future. I'm using some soy sauce. This is more like a light soy sauce. It's actually fish soy sauce that I'm using because the original soy sauce is a little too salty for me. And I'm using some oyster sauce, probably a good 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce and 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Just a touch of sesame oil, some black pepper, and we're going to add some cornstarch. Probably a good 2-3 tablespoons of cornstarch. This will help thicken the sauce and also keep the chicken smooth and moist. I'm just mix everything up and I'm just going to marinate this. I don't like adding sugar in this because I find oyster sauce is sweet enough already. Some people will even add a dark soy sauce just to give it like a very darker color. I just forgot to buy some, but this will taste just as good. I'm going to let this sit for a couple hours. I have here some shiitake mushrooms. Make sure you give these a good rinse as they're pretty dusty. And I'm going to soak these in water for a few hours, sometimes even overnight depending on the size. To pick a good one, you want to smell it. If it has a very strong aroma, then it's a good sign. And also, the good ones tend to have a very good pattern, or a very distinctive and enlarged pattern. Over is ginger. I'm going to make our sauce. We'll probably do a 1:1 ratio of soy sauce and oyster sauce. Give it a nice mix. And that'll be it. We'll put a little bit of oil in our clay pot. I'm just going to wipe it down so it doesn't stick. Just because it burns pretty easily. I'm gonna add my rice in here. The amount of water I add, I'm just going to add it just so it covers the rice. And keep in mind, it's going to cook a lot faster since we soaked it. I have here a rose wine Chinese sausage. This is goose flavored sausage. This is a smoked pork belly. I'm gonna add our chicken. our shiitake mushrooms. I just sliced them into trays. I'm gonna bring this over to the stove. We'll put this on low heat and we're gonna slowly cook this for about 10 to 20 minutes depending on the type of rice you have. While we're looking for, you have to stay close to it because it burns pretty easy with the clay pot. You don't want to open this because the steam is going to cook the meat inside. We're looking for some dry crackling sounds, and if you smell anything burnt, then it's time to remove this off the stove. So it's been about 10 minutes since it's been cooking. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on the edges again, just so this way we have a crispier bottom. The trick now is to rotate the sides if you want more of the crispy bottom. So we're just going to tilt this like that. And we're going to hold this until you can hear some crackling sound. The worst part about this is that you can never open it. So you always have to rely on your smell. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's some crackling sound, and that's what you're shooting for. So after all 4 corners are finished, or 4 areas are finished, I turn off the heat and I'm going to add a 5-year aged rice wine. Probably a tablespoon and a half on the edges. And we'll let this kind of steam for about another 5 minutes and then we're done.